What's up, everybody? Oh, great. I'm starting the stream off blurry. Hold on. I'm going to fix it. Give me a second. Hey, there we go. What's up, everybody? How's it going on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. I appreciate it a lot. I got another very special guest with me today. I can see people already in the chat who are familiar with the color orange. Well, I have the creator of the color orange with me today, the man who started it all. Too spooky. Oh my gosh, you're
Yo,
too small. Wait.
I'm tiny.
Oh,
What's
there he
going
is.
on?
What's up,
That's
Too
right. I
Spooky?
invented the color orange. That did not exist until the HOA.
I know, man. I didn't realize it's cool because, like, obviously there's a color spectrum, the way light diffuses, etc., prisms, blah blah blah. But there's this whole other spectrum I had no idea existed until recently. Started showing up my timeline. My
Yeah.
mind was blown, dude. So I
Had to be
appreciate
seen. You had to be shown the light.
the orange light. But yeah, man, Too Spooky, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate this. I've been following you for quite a while in the Hex community, but now you have a different claim to fame outside of your $50 Hex prediction call. Now, now you're a whole ass founder, whole ass creator of this little meme coin called HOA.
Yeah, the Hex Orange address. I appreciate you having me on and the opportunity and all the engagement that you help bring attention to for the Tang Gang mutual relationship. People, say something to us and we throw oranges at them in a good way. So I appreciate it, but it's really not too different. Before what I was doing was making memes, and now I make memes.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's been impressive watching how quickly the Tang Gang community, and for those of you guys don't know, the HOA, Hex Orange address, that's like the coin, and then the Tang Gang is like the community of people who've kind of rallied behind that specific coin, and they're memeing for I think it's like 52 weeks of memes, right? So it's like a whole year making memes every single week.
At least 52
Please.
weeks.
Yeah.
That was
52
the
weeks.
goal they said. I think we're gonna keep running with it. That's nothing that was discussed. I just don't see the energy dying off.
Oh, I don't either, man. I mean, it's been pretty impressive, and we'll get into all the cool stuff that's been happening with the Tang Gang and HOA. But first, I just kind of one of the big reasons I wanted to have you on is because you've obviously you've had a social presence in the Hex community for a while, since the very beginning. And then now with the launch of Pulse Chain, like your presence has kind of flourished with this whole new thing. How has that
Yeah.
process been, man? Like tell us a little bit about like who you are, Too Spooky, like how you got into Hex, and then we'll kind of move it from there.
Ooh, I'm gonna try not to ramble.
I'll cut you off. Don't worry.
When I appreciate it. So I got into Hex because I was like, I was playing around with crypto. I was still doing like the centralized exchange things. My first crypto ever was Doge, a meme coin, one of the biggest meme coins ever exist. And I just sat on that for a while. And it went sideways when I got into it for quite a long time. So I was looking for other things to throw money into because I was like on Robinhood buying stocks, and I was like, I just wanted to make money. And so when I started learning more about stuff, I was doing just like a lot of Googling, what's the next thing to buy, how to make money, investing, blah, blah, blah. I stumbled across Hex. And that was like, Richard Hart says it all the time. They got people onto Uniswap. They got people into crypto. I'm one of them because I don't really consider buying Doge on Robinhood as like investing.
Mhm.
So I had to figure out how to get into crypto to buy Hex. And I actually, like, I tell this to people at the time, I would not have bought Hex if there wasn't discourse online with people arguing over it. Because everyone wants to hype up their own product, but it's the naysayers that are really, like, for me, it's the naysayers that really highlight whether something's legitimate or not. And after looking into Hex, there's just a whole bunch of idiots online saying all the wrong things, didn't make sense, bad arguments. And I'm like, something's here. So like, I got into Hex because of the naysayers making really, really bad arguments. And that was at the end of 2020, I think. Yeah, I got into Hex at the end of 2020. And yeah, it's just been a roller coaster ride since then, as I really loved the community. I really loved the narrative that was going on, and the people involved were really helpful and supportive back then. And I guess I just, parked. It's home now.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's definitely something I don't think a lot of people don't appreciate is how much Hex has been kind of integral in the evolution of DeFi as a whole. You know,
Oh
for the
yeah.
longest time, Hex was like what, like 30% of Uniswap's volume when Uniswap V1 like first came out.
Hmm.
And like you said, like just buying Doge, Bitcoin, ETH on like Robinhood. Like, sure, are you into crypto? Do you own crypto? Technically, no, but like you have crypto. But like there are different levels down the rabbit hole where it goes from like buying on Coinbase and Robinhood to self-custodying to like DeFi, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think Hex has definitely played a big role in like getting people further down that rabbit hole because it was gate kept from all the easy ways of onboarding. So if you wanted to participate, you were forced to learn to even get exposure in the first place.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a huge learning curve, and even then, it's like I didn't know what I was getting involved in when I found Hex, because I do some money at a few things, um, but I really like the first 4 or 5 months of me being in Hex. I would say more conservative than I would have wanted to be buying it because I didn't know what it was going to do. When my first purchases of Hex were all spent with the stimulus checks, and I
And
I
that
staked them
that,
all.
that Twitter
Staked them
account that
all
was like
10, 15 years.
1200 bucks. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
my biggest bags are all 10, 15 years long because I was listening to the messages and I didn't think it was going to do, 100x on me when I got into it. I was like,
Mhm.
hopefully 50 cents within a decade.
Yeah.
So that the first year of me being in Hex was just mind blowing. Completely changed my life.
I bet being locked up too was an interesting experience amongst all of it. Like seeing like all the value go up, but then knowing like you're earning a little bit on the side every day, but also you're kind of locked out from taking profits at the same time. I
Yeah,
think a
yeah.
lot of people had that experience.
Right, right, right. So I was not able to retire despite having a decent sized bag of Hex
Yeah.
because
Did
I
you?
locked it up. But the system does work as intended, and it's like I really came to learn that it's who's involved with the owning the supply, and how they actually treat the market. And we'll probably get into this later on the stream when it comes to liquidity providing and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it was a positive learning experience for me. But I will say I will from then on out, from experiencing this bear market, especially in Hex, I'm going to handle my investment strategy completely different because I
Mhm.
still 100% believe in the benefits of not selling the bottom. But I also understand the reason why we've experienced the bear market how we had, and it's people being afraid of LP and just dumping the top, etc. So good learning experience for me. So I feel even more prepared for the future. I feel like if I got like pulled out 400 grand at the top in 2021, I probably would have blew it all. So I'm
Mhm.
actually glad that I staked.
Yeah. Dude, I hear you on that, man. And we're definitely going to get into the nitty gritty some more about like LP because I know that you're big on that. I'm pretty big on that. And just kind of talk like with the spectrum of like, crypto and DeFi literacy, like LPing is like, it's an advanced topic to master and understand. But in my opinion, it's like a necessary one if you want to be an actual like DeFi participant and like an expert in it. Like it's a foundational skill you just have to understand intimately because if not, you're kind of blind to what's actually going on in terms of like how prices are trading, how you're able to make like say income out of your coins, like what's a community that has healthy liquidity that doesn't, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm been happy to see you be making the push in a lot of the 10 gang spaces about talking about LP because I think I don't know 10-20% of the time when I hop in and you're talking, usually it's something about liquidity providing, which I think is great.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Especially if an individual is holding a large bag, or at least they do plan on trying to get a large bag at some point in the game, you
Mhm.
have to completely change your strategy. Otherwise, you'll end up doing a 99% crash because people always want to front run each other. We've heard that term before in the community. People want to try to front run sellers and they just want to dump the largest bag, and I call it profit maximalism.
Mhm.
And from an individual standpoint, I can understand why someone would do that, but like if you really care about the project and the community and everyone else that like either you onboarded or your friends onboarded,
Mhm.
it's a lot healthier to continue to participate in the support of the ecosystem rather than just dumping on their heads. So
Yeah.
I really try to promote that message, especially in this community, in this Tangang community, because like I love them. They are
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic. And because we're at this deep part of the bear market, and because people, sorry, I live in the city, so I'm sure you can hear that in the
Yeah, he
background.
did.
Um, but I love this community, and we're at like a prime stage where, you know, the prices that we see now in a year or two, they could be 10, 100x higher. And it's like, you guys are the ones that are going to be the market makers. You're going to set the tone and the narrative. You are the price chart.
Yeah.
So if you really care about your bags and you can care about your community, you have to play the game like you're a large bag holder. You can't just dump the price 99%.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the type of game that you play in crypto completely changes depending on the size of your bag, right? And
Yep.
and then you can buy that bag at any point in the market. It's just, are you buying it really cheap or are you buying it more expensive? But for the people who got it cheap, if they're in that profit maximalist type perspective, well, that just long term is going to hurt the price chart overall, because as prices go up, they're going to provide resistance every level that it continues to go higher, killing momentum, making it harder to make new highs, which in crypto, a large part of the marketing is the green candles. Like you get people's attention because like, oh, hey, this group of people is over here making money. Maybe I should pay attention to what's going on over here. And that's actually something I'm interested to see unfold with HOA and the Tangang, because the inception of it, especially with your role as a public facing figure in it, you know, I say you're the creator and founder, and we'll get into how it came to be, but like, you know, you don't really control anything. You just kind of type the things to create the tokens, throw them in LP, and then like now it's just like whatever the community does. So I'm interested to see with like this kind of focus on liquidity providing education, especially like with you, Bullish, and Orange GUI, like all of you guys are preaching like using LP correctly and intelligently. How is that going to manifest on the HOA price chart over time? Because the people who are collecting those large bags now for cheap are getting that understanding way ahead of time before they need to make decisions on, do I just market dump everything? Do I provide LP with it? And we're getting the tools on Pulse Chain with 9mm, with a V3 DEX to play these games so much more effectively.
Yeah, I'm expecting really good things to be reflected in the price chart because of how we're trying to communicate and educate people. And then because we leaned into 9mm so hard so early, we've basically kind of squeezed the market on 9mm, you know, proportionate to the rest of the supply. Because like myself, I don't know if you got the updated number. I minted another 100 Pulse OGs, so I have 300 now.
Jesus, dude.
I'm like by far the largest holder of Pulse OGs, and you know, I believe that just going back into Hex, like when I jumped into Hex, I'd listened to everything that was being said. I'm a true believer in the narratives, so it was like, yeah, I want to diamond hand that. And over the years, my philosophy changed from, you know, profit. Well, I was never really a profit maximalist, but like I understood the difference between, you know, having the healthy environment versus the unhealthy. So like I want to diamond hand stuff. I don't like selling my principal investment. If I'm swapping from one thing or another, that's one thing. But when it comes to like actually selling back into fiat, I just want interest. That's it. I just want my interest. I don't want to dump on everybody, especially the people who have joined this community and have shown so much love. I don't want to ruin their bags, you know, because I'm dumping. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it, and a really good overall like thesis for like how you want to navigate this next crypto cycle. I want to get into that a little bit more deeply, because I have some thoughts on that as well. But first, I want to give some context to anybody who's listening who isn't exactly aware of like what HOA or the Tangang is. So can you just kind of walk through the genesis of like how all this started?
Yeah, I'll do my best, because there's so much has happened and so many people came in that it's like it's a massive empire right now that's forming. So it started off just as a Joe Biden meme, and it was I guess it was just the timing of it. Joe Biden just did a speech where he was, you know, mumbling his words, and Richard Hart at the same time was basically getting hit by the SEC. So it just the wires just fired off in my head, and I said Joe Biden's gonna, you know, talk about Hex is going to talk about Richard Hart. But, you know, with him slurring his words, I was like, he's probably going to say orange instead of origin. That just made me laugh. So I made the meme. I said, Joe Biden's going to audit the Hex orange address. And so many people like shared and liked that tweet. This was also coming off of Gary Woods. He made a bunch of like influencer coins just like 2 weeks before that or something like that. And I was already sitting on the idea of trying to make a meme coin, and someone showed me the Go Pulse way to do it, where you basically just put the name, put the supply, and then mint the coins. I was like, you know what? Why not? Hex orange address. Put 99% of the supply in the liquidity. I had the other 1% because like I didn't know, maybe I was going to do airdrops or, you know, do competitions or something like that. But so many people just leaned in so hard, and like, you know, there was so much fun going on. The price went up like what was it, 12 million% in the first day. Is just insane price action. I decided to be, benevolent and just burn my 1%. And then I started buying after that. So I didn't dump on anyone's head, etc. But then what happened after that is people really saw the potential before I even did, obviously. So they were like, yo, we're going to make this community. It was Orange Gooey and Dejin Waffles, I think I was talking to on Spaces or something like that, the day of. I'm like, yo, we're going to make this community. We're going to do all these memes and this and that. And I was like, bro, have at it. Like, all I do is make memes. I'm not like a huge influencer. I mean, maybe more now than I used to be. But like, I just like making memes. I'll get into arguments and I make memes. That's all I do. So if you want to make a community around this stupid joke and you want to make more memes, I'm there. So all I want to do is make memes. And now we have NFT artists. We're onboarding from other chains, other communities. Where we have all this educational content, like we were saying with the LPs and whatnot. So it's just this massive multi-billion-dollar marketing agency that just is just growing exponentially to the point where it's almost scary. It's almost scary how much is happening inside and outside of this community.
Yeah. I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if this works. Ready? Boom.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Let's grow.
Now we're on theme. Now we're on brand for this stream. I was trying to get it to work, and then there we go. I got it to work. Here we go. No, I think the genesis of HOA and the Tang Gang, I think the organic nature of it is really powerful, right? Because this wasn't something that you intended to build. You weren't intending to have this huge community around this specific coin who makes memes and is now getting a bunch of airdrops and whatnot. You just kind of like, oh, it's a joke. Joe Biden's going to fumble his words. Let me make a joke out of that. And that could be funny for a couple posts, right? And then now it's gone to places where I'm sure you couldn't have even imagined in the days where you were making it. But at the same time, the way in which that's happened, it's kind of like an encapsulation or like an instance of like the decentralized spirit conglomerating over a specific set of memes and then kind of running with it. Because if you go when you go on to Twitter Spaces, which I think is where you guys are most active, or we are most active, because I consider myself part of the Tang Gang as well. You'll pull anywhere like easily 50 viewers when if you go live, Bullish, Orange Gooey, like anybody who kind of like organizes the Spaces tangent, like they'll easily get 50 people just in there talking, and the conversations are great, man. Like it's very high value, a lot of fun. Like it's this nice mix of like education, relaxing and chilling, memes, music, artists, creators all coming together and just hanging out on the internet, basically. And I think
it's I think part of our strength is just not only is it organic, but it was coincidence, because the people who leaned into the community the earliest, they are, they were already prominent Hexicans. They already had bags. They already know how to handle things, and they have connections and whatnot. So it was like everything just culminated to like the perfect moment for this to happen. And because it happened so organically, it wasn't planned. There was like no points of failure, because we didn't try to do something where it's like, it just is. So with everything that has happened, we've ended up becoming probably the strongest sub community on Pulse Chain. And like I said, that growth is happening exponentially because of the people involved, like Bullish, Cookies, Tangent, like so many people are just coming in, and we're a powerhouse. We're a powerhouse over those circumstances.
Absolutely. And I think it's a good time to bring up the concept that Gooey Cookies talks a lot about when he's in the Spaces, where this is a $1 billion decentralized marketing agency, basically like a
billion.
DAO,
I think
like
it's a billion.
Billion. Yeah, billion. A $1 billion decentralized marketing agency, right? And that like framing of it, I think is really cool, because that's pretty much what it is. So the way he talks about it is through like mimetic energy flow, or like just energy flow in general, where like you put up a sacrifice into the community, you put in a lot of work, sweat equity up front to create something cool, and then you give it to the Tang Gang for free. And then they basically assess, hey, is this cool? Is this not? Do I like it? Et cetera, et cetera. But if it catches on and people are like, oh, this thing that you created is really, really dope, well, then they take all of their talents that each individual person within the gang has and then just start pushing it out into social media and the algorithm and getting engagement. And then so your success as the creator of whatever you want to bootstrap yourself is amplified by first putting in energy into the system. And then based on your merits, you get an output proportional to how cool people in the community think it is. And I think with 9mm, this is probably the very first instance or the biggest instance that we've seen with somebody successfully kind of navigating that this marketing agency.
Yeah. So yeah, Cookies, Orange, Gooey, Orca, whatever you want to call him. Dude is an absolute genius. Like I've known him in the community for quite some time, but until the Tang Gang, we've never, really spoke this much. But his ability to go into communities and not only market but just communicate is like high level entrepreneurship type stuff. Mm-hmm. Like this dude is brilliant, and he's really, really, really effective as at organizing the power of communities to come together. And so he's essentially set up this narrative that is fully accurate. It's how the world works, but it's like a positive feedback loop. And not only does it just work in its substance, but this is something that, he's spoken about before. And Gary Woods is actually communicating this a lot too. And actually B Roots too. They're like, they all kind of have this same idea that is real, that who is involved is very important as well, because I don't think he would have leaned into the Tang Gang as much if he didn't know me and I didn't have the following I was, and he didn't know that I was legit, not a scammer and going to rug pull people. So we have all these members in the community, like we were just saying, pushing this positive, healthy message into the ecosystem, and we're getting results with it too.
Yeah.
So we have the content there. We have all these people who are having fun, enjoying. We are loud. And then someone sees us, someone hears us, and they're like, hey, maybe I can do this thing. And like you said, if we like it, we support it. And when we go spam posts, we'll get twice as much engagement on YouTube videos, on streams, than people are used to getting, because they let us put oranges. We're laughing at our own joke and people are just letting us.
Yep.
So now the engagement is going everywhere, and that's just how the community is forming and getting stronger. And you get that positive feedback loop where someone wants, a slice of the pie and on the engagement. So we give them a slice of the pie. They get a whole pie in return because everyone's giving them a slice, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful system. So going into 9mm, they did a free mint for us, and they explained to us the tokenomics in their plan, and we were like, yeah, absolutely, we love that. So it was only 100 up for grabs, and I don't even think that full 100 minted, but we loved what they were doing. We loved the energy. We knew who Deva was, so absolutely, we're going to start shilling this thing because it's actually really, really good. And we minted out, I think, half the supply in a couple of weeks just by ourselves, and then going back into B Roots. B Roots has built up his own little empire. I went on Shill Tank, and I explained to them everything I believed. It's not like, I don't believe what I'm saying. So I went on Shill Tank, and they were able to let me come up and, show them the Pulse OGs, and the collection minted out in 2 days. And all that is marketing.
Yep, 100%. And I watched that evolution because I didn't get it on the free mint myself, but I minted my first one around that, like in the first half minted in like the first like couple weeks. Like the minting was actually pretty slow for quite a while. Then all of a sudden it was just over.
Right.
It was the Shill Tank thing that you did, and I think that is the perfect example that shows, like, if you get the community on board with what you're doing by first giving something to the community for free, then like you can have immense success with whatever project you're launching, because they're giving you eyeballs, they're pushing your content on the algorithm. And the key, and you mentioned it briefly, but I think the key of all of this is that, like, this is just stuff you believed in, right? Like, you're like, oh, the thing that they're building is actually cool. We could use this on Pulse Chain. The tokenomics are good, and I want a piece of that pie. So let me talk about the things that are interesting. And then now it's just under the banner of the color orange,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't have spent like 12 grand on Pulse OGs if I didn't believe in it myself. I minted out 3 wallets. So it's not like it's just marketing. Like we're out here pushing, what we believe to be true, what we think is good. And it goes back into like the LPs and all that stuff. That's all it is. And just to really highlight it, that like I said, Gary Woods is doing a really good job trying to push this. Is like when it comes to marketing, onboarding, and everything, you have to have a what's the word? I can't remember the word, but the relationships with people who are also prominent. That's how you kind of get like the community that they're in to engage with the community that you're in, and that's how you really, really grow. So if I wasn't me, Cookies wouldn't have leaned in. If Cookies wasn't him, we probably wouldn't be where we are. And if B Roots wasn't what he's done, then we probably wouldn't have minted out in 2 days after going on Chill Tank. So it's all these very powerful, smart, intelligent, talented people coming together for a mutually beneficial goal, whether it's direct or indirect. And that's just why what's happening right now is happening. And I still can't comprehend how far this thing is going, because the longer I'm participating in it, because like you said, I don't really control anything. I'm a participant myself. But the more things go on, just like the more parabolic it looks like it's going.
Yeah, man. Because I think parabolic's the right word, because as you continuously add, nodes into the community, both from people who maybe aren't as public facing, but especially people who are public facing and have audiences, like it's like Metcalfe's law in of itself. The value of it grows exponentially as you get more and more people in, and that is scaled relative to the size of the audience of the people who are coming in as well. The positive feedback loop application to this community, I think, is really important too, because it works on multiple levels. It works both from the people who are trying to use it as a marketing mechanism to have greater success for, say, minting out their project or like bootstrapping a project, but that positive feedback loop also exists for the community members too. Right. So it's like, as people market to the community or try to market or pitch their stuff to the community, they're giving community members free things in the form of like free mints, like the 9mm stuff. Well, now these people have an asset sitting in their wallet that if the Tang Gang, the push from the Tang Gang is successful, all of a sudden has value. So now there's an incentive to stay within the system and participate, because you've got something of value for free based on the participation of the community. Now, and that begets more participation, because other people go in and say, whoa, this 9mm thing, they got it for free. Now it's like, 10 million pulse floor, which I think is a conservative floor in the long term overall for each of these things. And they got it for free. And most of the people got to mint it for a 1 million pulse. Well, let me participate in this community because I could probably get some benefit as well. And then, because other people see that success of, say, 9mm in this specific scenario, they're like, oh, this community did really well by marketing and bootstrapping participation through the Tang Gang. Let me go in myself and do that as well to see if I can't replicate that success for my community and my project. So then they give the participant something for free. It gets pushed out. And if it succeeds, well, that just is that feedback loop goes back into the community, further emphasizing that marketing through the Tang Gang is a successful strategy to bootstrap communities and bootstrap engagement on specific protocols. So with every iteration of success that we're seeing, I think with 9mm is the first big one, it's just going to beget more participation from founders, developers, as well as community members as well. So it's like these two feedback loops going on at the same time, feeding into each other with each iteration of success.
Oh yeah, wait till you see what Orange Gooey has cooking up. He spoke to, like, I didn't see the spaces, so I wasn't there for it, but I've been hearing what everyone's saying afterwards. He was apparently speaking to this very large company that is trying to get into the blockchain, and essentially what you just said is what he told them. So he's helping them get into Pulse Chain, which is, that's literally the onboarding people want. People want the big money to come in, even if you hate meme coins. People want the big money to come in, and because of the mimetic power of the Tang Gang, chances are, like he said, is a non-zero chance that they're going to establish a mutually beneficial relationship with our community as well. So it's really important to have the narrative and the themes and the community engagement that we have going on because of that positive feedback loop. But even aside from that, even if people choose not to participate directly, I think we are at least setting an example for other communities to start doing something very similar. Because I just said this morning, or no, was it last night? I think it was last night. We are doing for Pulse Chain what should have been done, even just in Hex years ago. We're not fighting with people. We don't necessarily care if you buy the coin. We're not attacking you for, wanting to buy something different. We're welcoming you, and we're having fun. And we're showing you that can be positive, not only for your experience on Pulse Chain, but literally for your bags. So hopefully other people start looking at our example from how powerful this community is.
Yeah. And that's a really good point, because at the basis of all of this, like, all this positive feedback loop, marketing agency, bags pumping, etc., the base of all of it is just community engagement and having fun, right? Like, people are coming together and participating because they enjoy making and consuming orange memes, and then conversing with other people who enjoy consuming and creating orange memes. And like, that's what the foundation of all of this is. You lose that, everything kind of falls apart, because that's why people are here. Fundamentally, that's how it started. People would say, oh, this thing is funny, let's have some fun. And then now this whole crazy ecosystem basically has been created through people having fun online, which I think is a much healthier place to build. Well, I think it is a much healthier place to build such a community on top of, versus just trying to do like the price appreciation, speculation, or even the tech. Because ultimately we just want to have fun and have people with common interests who we can interact with, have fun with, and relate to.
Yeah. I think the price chart, like, you'll see me do TA all the time. I do TA because I'm like probably autistic. But yeah, like, I'll look at the price charts. I like comparing things, seeing what's going on the blockchain, but I don't think the price chart is the direct benefit. I think it's the community, and the price chart is being reflected because of the community. The community's there, they're having fun, they're engaging, they're buying, and they're holding. They want to stick around. Like, what are you going to sell for? I've seen some people. There was a guy that just dumped like 2 million HOA the other day, and he bought PRS. Like, I'm glad you made some money, but then immediately after he dumped, the price doubled. We just had that huge orange candle. So I think that's more rare than what you see in other coins, and a lot of people are choosing to stay, and that's just socially enforced. People are doing it because they want to. They're having a good experience.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think having that good experience is an incredible addition to Pulse Chain, that people have a place to go in order to have fun. I mean, I personally have spent a lot of my time in Pulse Chain learning about all of the different protocols that have launched and that are launching. And I think all of those are important and necessary to have, especially if you're trying to attract, say, a more sophisticated investor. But also the grassroots organic nature of what's happening with HOA and the Tangang, I think, is also a necessary component for the overall success of the ecosystem. And I don't see them as opposing forces. I actually see them as synergistic and necessary pieces of a successful L1. So I'm super happy that I have been super happy and excited to see all of the success that the Tangang has had and has produced. And like you said, I'm almost like, whoa, like where is this going to go? Because the potential of it is absolutely huge.
One of my favorite things that I have seen come because of this community are people who have openly stated for a long time on Twitter, or X, I'm always going to call it Twitter, that they don't like Richard Hart. They never were going to buy his products. They were not going to participate in Pulse Chain. But all of a sudden, because of the Tangang, they have decided to jump on Pulse Chain. They have decided to bring financial energy into the ecosystem because of the Tangang. And so even if they don't directly pump your bags because they don't want to buy Pulse per se, or they don't want to buy Hex, they're still coming into the ecosystem now because they see the opportunity and they see that positive experience. So by far, whether like I won't agree with people who want to talk garbage about Richard Hart or Hex or anything like that. Like I have my own opinions, they have their own opinions, and I support the fact that people feel differently. But people who were never going to participate are now participating. Yep. And that's my favorite thing about the Tangang.
Yep, 100%, man. And that brings up a great point, because we're getting this economic energy that we would have never gotten without the Tangang doing what it's doing right now. And to participate in, say, like some of these mints, like 9mm, for example, since we've been talking about it so much, you have to buy Pulse, right? So if they wanted to mint 50, say that's like the number they wanted, they had to buy 50 million Pulse to get it, and that's money that was put into the price chart, that the liquidity pools that never would have happened without the organic growth that 9mm tapped into by associating with the Tangang.
Right. Yeah, it really just boils down to a healthy community showing some level of welcoming to an
Mhm.
individual who has money. And then if you show them also green candles, because we have this positive feedback loop, there's like no reason not to participate. You're literally losing out. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of people in the Tang gang. This is probably my second favorite thing. There's a lot of people that are in the Tang gang, especially some big name OG hexicans. They are probably never going to buy HOA, but they
Mhm.
still want to see what's happening. They still want to be involved. They still want to be engaged, and they're not afraid because we have this narrative shift. They're not afraid to see the benefits of the Tang gang for what it is. So it's like, look, I'll never buy it. I'm gonna stick with Hex and Pulse Chain and Pulse X, but I love what you guys are doing, and
Yeah.
that warms my heart because I'm glad that I can help. Well, but I'm glad that the Tang gang can help change the narrative for the better. People
Mhm.
are able to change and adapt because they see the highlights. I mean, they see the silver lining.
Yep. No, that's a great point, and there was something I was going to bring up with that. Give me a second. Um, it left my mind, but it had something to do with people who didn't. Oh, there it is. I know what it is. Well, the thing about it is because the Tang Gang is so active on like Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, everybody's seeing this stuff on the timeline because you have people like Bullish, you, Gooey, and actually probably even more someone like Tangent, who's pretty popular in the Hex community as an OG in terms of like producing content and streams. So they're seeing all the spaces going on. But when you go into one of these spaces, at least 50% of the time, there's like high level crypto DeFi conversations happening about like liquidity providing, um, market making, like a whole bunch of stuff, even security, ethos of decentralization, like whatever topic you want. I've heard all of these things being discussed within these spaces. And so even if people don't come for the memes, the coin themselves, they may be coming just for the education in of themselves because that's where the conversation is happening. And that's a valid way of participating as well. And I think another strength that's happening within the Tang game, because there's legitimate high value information being given out for free. All you have to do is participate by, adding +1 engagement to the Twitter spaces, and then you can just listen.
Yeah, I've even had other people DM me because like I'm kind of the face of HOA to some extent. So I've had other people on the timeline. It's like, hey, I heard what you were saying about LP. Can you give me some more information? So then I start providing them links. So
Yep.
like there are people who are coming to the Tang gang for educational content. So it's like the bright orange color is there that might capture your attention, but once you actually decide to look past the orange, it's actually like a really vibrant community. And other people are launching their own projects, and they're like taking our advice. They're like popping all the supply in LPs. So someone was just tagging me a bunch today of some other coin that just launched, and all the coins in supply. So I'm glad I'm not seeing coins that have 99.9% of the supply sitting in one wallet, and then 0.1% is on the market, and then someone's just going to play that game and dump on each other. So it's like people are really coming in and they're trying different things out, they're getting out of their old habits, and things are starting to flourish. Things that probably would have died day one, they're being on the market a lot longer.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of different NFT projects specifically, not just 9mm, but they've gotten a lot of success by marketing to the Tang gang and kind of buying into that education and doing things. I guess I'll say more correctly. That's probably not the best way of saying it, but say maybe more advantageously. Grow Girls is a great example.
Yes.
I think Pulse Funks is another big one. The neckbeard punks
Neckbeard, I got
that you have.
rocking a neckbeard right now.
Yep. And these are all NFT, and this is another cool concept because all of these are NFTs that were given away to the community for free. Like you could mint them for free, but they're being used as a gating mechanism to get free stuff in the future. So
Yep.
there's the Robo Rhapsody mint that's coming up at some point
Oh
with
yeah, that's
69
amazing.
of them available. I'm not too familiar with like the exact details of what it is, but from what I'm hearing about it, it's pretty cool and has some pretty cool utility behind it. Just hearing Bullish talk about it. But the way to get it for free, there are only 69. You can mint them for free. I think one's being given away to Orange Gooey, so there's only 68 that you can actually get. But in order to have them, you need to have a Grove Girl, Neckbeard Funks, and 69 420 HOA in a wallet to be whitelisted to get in. So it's like long term. What this is setting up is a long term like kind of proof of participation mechanism where like if you want to get the future stuff for free, you need to have on-chain verifiable evidence that you have participated from the very beginning, or that you have contributed economic energy to the people who have built the community from the beginning, or have marketed to the community at the beginning to be able to take advantage of the stuff in the future. And I think that kind of dynamic is really powerful, because anybody can participate in anything that's being marketed to the OA by buying in. But if you want to get in for free, you have to have a proven track record of supporting the community. And I think that's a great model of distributing things to people who are more diamond handed or more invested, outside of just giving like basic free mints out for everybody.
Yeah, and that goes back into the positive feedback loop that's happening, because the content creators inside the community, they're the ones like reaping the benefits first by giving out that free mint, and people are participating in it, and then they actually start seeing some revenue because we're all hyped. We actually like the projects that are coming out. So then they start having volume on the marketplaces, and then of course they're making money, but at the same time they want to bring it back to the grove to keep the cycle going. So like some stuff is token gated or NFT gated, but it's essentially still staying in the grove.
Yep. Yeah.
Because if I'm buying an NFT and then I'm getting a benefit off of it, and it's helping make more orange candles, then did I really lose anything? Did I spend anything? It's a positive feedback loop. You're inside the system and you're benefiting from it.
Yep. And it just leaves this track record of success for these NFT projects that are being created, because all of a sudden their floors are going up, their volume is going up. Like the biggest thing with NFTs, the biggest drawback for them as an investment is that they're incredibly illiquid, where you can't just drop them into a liquidity pool and extract value. Like you need a buyer one for one in order to be able to extract value. And that can be really hard because you need people actively trying to buy this stuff. Well, if you're getting that volume, you're getting that increase in price floor, and you're getting that success, that just increases the probability that people are going to want to give you the liquidity to exit should you choose to down the line, which like you need for a proper market to function, right? Like people who got in need to be able to get out. People who aren't in need to be able to get in. And with NFTs, that's hard due to the illiquid nature of it. But if people are seeing this track record of NFTs providing value to the grove and then bringing back value to the grove, then that just increases the probability that we're going to get all of this successful stuff for every new iteration, which is exactly what we were talking about like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, you have you essentially have the socially enforced utility. People are choosing to give utility to these tokens and the NFT collections, and by proxy the community. So now you're getting a free mint that has utility, because people are going to love you because you're part of the Tang Gang. So it just works. It just works. And I think that's, like I was saying before, it's really helping to change the narrative in the ecosystem, that you don't have to be a extraction maximalist. You can actually, help create wealth by giving some away.
Yep. 100%. And I think that's even in a lot of ways that's a better model, and something that even for me, like with the business that I'm going to create with like on Twitter and YouTube and everything, with like the personal brand, what I'm realizing, or what I'm learning more, is that leading with value for free is much more powerful than I think any other business models. Like just giving stuff away, building that trust, building that engagement is probably the best long-term business model if you're actually trying to generate revenue. And I think the Tang Gang is encapsulating or adopting that ethos of entrepreneurship, but not within a single entity or person trying to generate revenue from it, but rather the community attracting people and then pushing things out to give the stuff that they're getting for free value in the first place.
Absolutely.
And then there's the concept also that plays along with this, which bringing it back to the grove, right? Where like, this isn't like a thing that's enforced by code or on the blockchain or anything, but this is the idea where it's like 10% of what you get from the success of marketing to the Tang Gang, you bring it back into the grove. And I believe that means like bringing it back to HOA essentially, right?
Yeah, in one way or another. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's socially enforced. It's socially enforced positive feedback loop. Yep. It's like our secret sauce.
Yep. And it's not, that's not necessarily like a buy and burn built into HOA, but it's a socially enforced mechanism where it's like, hey, like the more people who are successful, the more positive things, the liquidity pool that you just set up as a joke may get some benefit, whether it's in the form of people market buying, people providing liquidity, or the thing that most recently happened, $50,000 of liquidity being paired up between HOA and Pulse Pepe. Pepe
Oh
on
my
Pulse.
God, that's the craziest thing. I don't know who did it, but I woke up to people talking about it and I was like, is this Photoshop? Like who would add like 50 grand in liquidity with Pepe? So I had to go on to the Explorer and I looked at it. Yeah, there's an LP pool that's almost the same size as the Wrap Pulse pool. I'm like,
Yep.
Jesus Christ, this is absolutely insane. But we have been strong supporters of Pepe pretty much since we launched because Pepe was really big meme coin. So the Tang Gang is essentially like Pepe is effectively in the Tang Gang because all the people in Tang Gang they pretty much already like meme coins and we already support Pepe. So like I guess some HOA whale and some Pepe whale decided to put them together.
Mhm.
And I think part of it was the NFT hype that was coming off
Mhm.
because we started minting out some other not minting out but we started increasing the mints of some other collections. So i
Mhm.
i just bought 49 Pepe NFTs which pay reflections in Pepe,
Mhm.
and he's been getting like the creator of that collection, he's been getting like 200 plus mints a day all of a sudden because this Hang Gang is getting involved and we like what they have. They did a free mint for us as well. Same with
Mhm.
Pulse Punks, they did a free mint for us. Everyone just got airdropped the NFTs. So
Mhm.
now that the 9mm NFT, the Pulse OG hype is over, now we can start focusing on other things because we were hyper focused on that. But yeah, now we're supporting each other. The Tang Gang
Yep.
is supporting the Tang Gang. So apparently some whale decided to do something Giga Chad this morning and put I think it was 56k in Pepe
Mhm.
HOA. So just in those two pools alone, we now have over $100,000 in liquidity.
Yep. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yep. Yep. It's a $47,000 of liquidity now because the price is going down a little bit. But like that's incredible. Like the liquidity basically doubled like overnight. Literally
Yeah,
doubled overnight in terms of how much you can transact with it.
it's crazy, absolutely crazy. My mind was blown. But that just goes to
Mhm.
show how powerful this community is. Like, instead of dumping, that much HOA, they decided to pop it in LP, which is exactly what we teach and what we believe, because that's how you don't kill a project.
Yep. And it's on V2. It's on PulseX right now. So it's a 50-50 pool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think that's incredible that you guys that the HOA coin had gotten that extra bit of liquidity, and it just allows. And I think we're going to see this a little bit more in the future with HOA. And it's something that's been happening in the P diatropa system, where there's just all these different coins being created and like bonded together in liquidity with each other, and that's been P diatropa has been a big experiment in that. I speculate that HOA is also going to probably see a very similar trajectory in terms of like very diverse liquidity pool pairings as people want to basically plug in whatever they're creating into the community. Doing it through LP is essentially how you can do that on the blockchain, where you're literally connecting the coins of the system so that they in a very real way start to share properties with each other because they're bonded together in a liquidity pool.
Yeah, exactly. If you believe in the coin and you want to participate in the ecosystem, because like we said, we're already token gating stuff. If you're going to buy HOA and you have your own project or you have your own coin, you have other coins that you're bullish on, it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
why not? That's what we teach. Just like, why not do the LP? So
Mm-hmm.
I fully agree with that. I'm seeing a lot of HOA pairs. One of the coins that I'm also trying to support for additional onboarding is Crow. They don't show the prices on Dex Screener, but that has like 12 or 13k in liquidity right now. So there's a lot of pools that are getting additional support. They're being supported by HOA and, like we said, socially enforced. And yeah, I think people are starting to, like, maybe not the PDI guys themselves, but I think a lot of people are starting to understand more about liquidity bonding and price action, how it all affects, and how you can support your coin or your product or your bags by bonding it to other things you like.
Yep.
They're like, that's the whole point.
100%. Oh, this is a good question from Two Warriors. He's just wondering how much vetting is going on in terms of like security, like contract security. Has there been anybody in the community that you know of that has been kind of doing work in terms of like security of the things that are being presented?
So we do look into stuff like if usually, so there's coins like Yacht, Tangent's Yacht. Someone in the community made that. So like we,
Mm-hmm.
we trust that individual because we know who did it. And I think Bullish is usually the one involved with a lot of those things. Now, if we
Mm-hmm.
just get an airdrop, we're very open and honest about it. It's like, look, this isn't our coin, even though they are supporting us. It's like Mega just launched, for an example, and they haven't done the airdrop yet, but they're supposed to be giving HOA holders a decent sized airdrop. So it's like they're showing us love. We appreciate it, but it's not our coin, so we're not going to say 100% like, you know, this is our stuff, so it's safe.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between things that come out of the community versus things that come into it.
No, that's a great point. And there's still, like, even though we talk about the Tang Gang as like an entity, it's still just a conglomeration of individuals. So like best practices, like security, hygiene, double checking contracts, like all that responsibility still technically is on the individual when you participate. Right.
Yeah.
Like the Tang Gang will do everything that they can because they don't want people to get scammed or you have their wallets rinsed from something that they pushed. But still, at the end of the day, like whenever you're interacting with smart contracts, make sure that you're doing your own due diligence, or at least realizing the risk you're taking if you don't do that due diligence.
Yeah, so here's an example. There was a coin that targeted our community just the other day. They were launching a reflection token, and the individual that joined the Telegram, they were using the same profile picture of a coin they just launched the day before, which was a scam. It was PDR. It was a Peter Griffin reflection token for PDI. And they stumbled across it. They wanted me to show it. And I'm like, look, I got to be careful with the stuff I show. So like, do your thing, but I'm not going to show it. But I did make a post. I was like, look, this thing exists. But, you know, I have nothing to do with it. You know, do your own research. And well, it ended up being a scam. So I highlighted as like, nope, this is a scam, 100% a scam. So the person that was involved in that project, they were too lazy to change their profile picture. They joined the Tang Gang and they tried to launch a tax token for HOA. And I'm like, we already have a tax token. This isn't us. If anyone's trying to buy a tax token, do not buy this one. This is a scam. We already have a tax token if you want one. We have Fluffy. So like we do try to, I guess you could say, be honest and open about what's participating in the HOA. But yeah, we're a conglomerate. We are an autonomous community of people. We're just all here. So we can't stop people from doing things and saying, hey, I made an LP pool. Oh, matter of fact, the granny token. We had to have a conversation because they were like, oh, you know, we're Tang Gang now. And I was like, well, we haven't even had a conversation about that yet. Let's talk. But then, you know, they jumped into Tang Gang. We started talking. We established a better relationship. But at first it was like, yeah, we're Tang Gang. It's like, slow down. What is this? So we do try for that. But like, if you want to be more safe about it, because we will do our best to make sure stuff is legitimate, jump in the Tang Gang and ask. Just join the Telegram. We'll let you know what's ours and what isn't, you know.
Yep. And I know really specifically Bullish is very active in there. So you'll always get a response from him. I know Tangent's active in there, you and Gooey. Like, so there's always somebody who kind of like a leader of the Tang Gang, I'll say that in quotes, who's usually in there able to kind of sift through whatever questions that you have. You just have to sift through all of the orange memes to get to the conversation. That's the only thing.
Expect the pinned comments. There's only a few hundred of them.
Oh, we got a super chat, man, from Big Buckets repping his neckbeard.
Nice, got a neckbeard, yes.
Yeah, so we know this guy has some big buckets with that NFT. So shout out to the Tang Gang, Neckbeard, Orange
Neckbeards,
and the
Neckbeards.
Sloth.
Let's go.
I got to get my neckbeard back in, my RRL one.
Yeah, I was about to shave yesterday, but I'm like, nah, let me let it rock out on the neck.
See if I can get. And then he says the entertainment level go up since lurking around this crew. Oranges. Hey, Big Buckets, thank you for that donation, man. That super chat at $14.99 Australian. I appreciate that a lot, man. Your support means a lot. So thank you so much, man. But yeah, I think we covered a good amount about the community there, man. I think we covered pretty much everything. Yeah.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah,
lots of educational content. I'm glad people have the opportunity. Like I said, I appreciate you bringing me up. I'm glad people have the opportunity to hear more about it. Because like, unless you jump into Tang Gang and you watch and you're like trying to get all the information, it's hard to. So formats like this are really good to just compress stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I see my role within the Tang Gang, because I don't come from it as a developer or a project creator. I coming from it from an influencer. perspective, the content creator perspective. And so I'm seeing all of this stuff going on, like from a bird's eye view, participating and seeing everything. And then what I see my kind of role is distilling what I'm seeing into digestible format so people can be onboarded faster, or at least like speed up the time by which they understand what's going on so they can participate faster, heavier, or if they decide they don't want to participate, at least they are able to make an informed decision. So that's kind of where I'm seeing my role within this whole community right now. And I'm excited to keep pushing out content for it because I like what's going on a lot.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to be upset. I can't even keep up with it. There is so much stuff happening. Richard Honke is another guy that makes NFTs. He came over. I think he was on ETH before, and he started making the Richard Honke's on Pulse Chain. Whole bunch of free mints. So we're supporting his project too. He just did another free mint yesterday. See, I was rambling. I'm kind of losing my spot. So he just did another free mint yesterday. So I was able to get that one. And then a little bit later, Bullish announced another free mint from another project. I didn't even get that one. And I was online at the time. I missed out on that free mint because it was only like 50. So it's like I can't even keep up with the Tang gang because so much stuff is happening. And if you join the Telegram and you leave for like an hour, you're gonna come back to 200-300 messages.
Yeah. Dude, I can't keep up with it, man. It's freaking wild, dude. It's I have to just like go all the way to the bottom and just see if anything actually has been talking about that I can keep up with. But I missed that. I missed that free mint too, man. I think I caught it a couple of hours later afterwards. I'm like, oh, there's like 100 mints and like 50 of them for Tang Gang. I doubt they're probably all minted out already. I go up, like, get sold out. I was like, missed out.
Yeah, I made the HOA and I don't even get everything.
Yeah. Right? Damn, what's the point of even being a founder if you don't get all the free shit?
So yeah, I was coping hard yesterday. I was like, Jesus Christ, and I was on Twitter. The tweet pops up in my feed. I go to it, mint it out. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think Crypto Crow got one. Is it Trick or Treaters? Is that
yes?
What it's called?
Yeah, that's the one that I missed out on. I missed the free mint on that.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was another Richard Honke's free mint outside of the original 10. So I gotta go mint that now too. Yeah,
I think he did one or two more, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, it's hard for me to keep up, but there's another one there. It's a neckbeard. It's Richard Honke neckbeard.
Oh dang! I got him in that one. Then I can't miss out on that one. But the Richard Honke one was crazy because it was 10 of them, like 10 free mints.
Right.
All for holding HOA basically, which is wild. Was that another like 69,421, or was that just any holder?
I think it was just any holder, if I remember correctly. Okay. Because there's some of them where we kind of token gate at that certain level. Like Mana's collection is great. It's blowing up because it was more scarce. The original neckbeard for the paid mint, that was like 69 ink that you had to use to pay for it. But the free edition, I don't remember how much HOA you had to hold for that. But then some of them is like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you hold just one HOA, you can mint free.
Nice. Okay. Well, now I want to switch the conversation to LP a little bit. I think we can do a solid like half hour on that. But I'm gonna take a step away for just 1 second. Okay.
Gotcha. No doubt.
20 seconds. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I've been drinking too much water. But yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about LP because like I said before, that's something that topic I'm pretty passionate about, and I know you are too. So I'll ask you the same question that I asked you in the spaces we did a couple weeks ago. Just give us like your general like thesis on like why LP is important and why you talk about it so much.
Yeah. So after Richard Hart announced PulseX was going to exist and it was going to be a yield farm and all that stuff, I wanted to learn more about it, but I didn't want to like wait until PulseX launched and not have anything that like I didn't know anything, so then participate. So we learned it was essentially going to be a fork of PancakeSwap, and there's other forks of PancakeSwap. So I went on Kronos and I started using theirs. It was VVS, and I started getting a feel for everything, and I was understanding better how price action actually worked, what impermanent loss actually meant, etc. So the way I see LP, and is like I said, like we said earlier, it's more important if you have bigger bags, but like it's still good. But LPing is a way to sell your bags to the market, not on the market. And it creates a very different chart if you have a majority of people participating in liquidity providing, because after you make a green candle or orange candle, you can essentially help making more orange candles because you put your bags in LP for other people to buy off of you. So whether you want to engage in using something like V3 and setting ranges for people to completely buy you out, or you're just going full range and you don't really care about, the impermanent loss. I think impermanent loss is a misconception, and it's because of the word loss in it, everyone has the wrong idea about it. But you can actually pump your bags pretty good providing LP without killing the coin that you like. So that's why I'm so passionate about LP. I'm definitely not an expert on it, but I feel like I've looked at it enough to get an understanding of why it's so crucial to understand.
Yeah, dude, 100%. I mean, and I think most people respond to the buying and selling with LP narrative. I think that's what, when I talk to people about LP or they ask me questions about it, that's like the thing that they're most interested in. It's like, how can I enter or exit a position with LP? And that's easier with V3 than V2. But like what you were saying was like, if you get a price go up and then you add liquidity in that range, well, you're bolstering that new price by providing support, by providing LP. Because a easy way to think about it is, say like you have a cup, and then you have like a bucket of water, and then you have like, or let's say you have a shot glass, you have like a cup, and then you have like a bucket of water. Well, like a buy and sell with the cup, if say like you're taking fluids out of the bucket versus taking fluids out of the cup, well, that shot glass's volume is going to take out or put in more within the cup than the bucket. And so like the size of the cup and the bucket is like the amount of LP. Where if you're adding LP, the amount that each buy or sell has, the effect it has on the chart decreases. So if you're able to add liquidity as price goes up, you're just further bolstering the price that the amount of sell pressure that's needed to bring back or retrace the price to where it was beforehand. And that's a really powerful concept, where if you just slowly ladder your LP within each basically parabolic move or each impulse to the upside, if that's something that's like coordinated by the community or like something that's encouraged by the community and it happens consistently, that can create a healthier price chart as things go up. The flip side is that it does make it a little bit harder to pump. But I think, and to a large degree, not losing the gains is almost as important, if not more important, than having high velocity further gains, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, because all that happens is the earliest buyers, they just dump on the newer ones. So I fully think that thickening LP is the effective strategy. Because then, as LP increases, because a lot of people have misconceptions, like, I've had a couple, I don't want to call them arguments, but I've had a couple of spats with people online about things having low liquidity. And I was like, look, HOA launched with $6 in liquidity. I got it's my banner on Twitter. They had no liquidity. So, like, it's not like you can't make money in it. The slippage doesn't really matter. But there are a lot of people out here who think it does. So as you thicken the liquidity, the people who think that the thicker liquidity is the time to buy at the top, or not really the top, but you know what I mean, hypothetically, they want to buy when the liquidity is thicker after the price has already gone up 20 million%. That's when they buy, But so I think it's more important, like you said, to keep the gains rather than having a whole bunch of large bag holders eventually just dump the price into oblivion.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. Because the game you're playing in terms of LPing is very different depending on like what you're doing. So like you providing LP with just say like Hex and ETH or Hex and Pulse is very different than when you were providing liquidity with HOA, right? Because put in all the tokens with basically $6. It was like $3 of HOA based on the backing of the money that you put in for that liquidity pool. So $6 of liquidity, right? And you experienced just a tremendous amount of impermanent loss when that happened, because all of those HOA coins, if you use the traditional formula for impermanent loss, it's like what you could have had versus what you do had after a price movement with your LP position. Well, if you do that formula and you took all the coins that you had and then you added up how much they would be worth now at the current price, you know, you would have so much more money than you do now based on the LP position. But
Right.
that price movement would have never happened unless you put the liquidity in the first place. So it's like those coins would just be sitting in your wallet with nothing backing it, and there would just be just some like vaporware dust code that has a funny name to it. But because you provided LP with it and then a community formed around it, now even though you've experienced impermanent loss, you've actually net gained versus if you just held, because more value has flown into that liquidity pool overall. So yeah, you have an impermanent loss of thousands of dollars, but in reality 100% of it is gains, because none of it would have happened unless you provided liquidity in the first place. And that's like this, I think your use case of what you did with HOA is the perfect example on how impermanent loss can potentially look bad, but actually only works in the individual's favor.
Yeah, exactly. It's really important to stop having, like I've said this phrase a couple of times, the profit maximalist perspective, because like in a lot of cases it's not even practical. If you're sitting on like 50% of the supply and there's a tiny fraction of that in liquidity, you're not really sitting on the value on that it shows in paper. So if you dump the price, you're eating all that slippage in the first place. So you don't really have as much as you think. And then you're just going to kill the coin when you could, you know, sit in LP and make way more money, because not only earning fees, but you're allowing people to buy your bags off of you. So the price can go up even higher than what it currently is. So yeah, I've eaten literally the most impermanent loss you could ever imagine, whatever the price of HOA is going to be, because I had all of it. I had 100% of HOA, and I put 99% of it in liquidity.
Yep.
So if anyone ever wants to do the math on that, just remember that I ate the most impermanent loss, but my LPs grew significantly because I only had $3 of pulse on one side of it, and now I have significantly more than $3 worth of pulse because I still have some LP.
Yeah, 100%. And excuse me. That's a great point also, because it highlights the fact that impermanent loss is actually how you buy and sell a position with LP, right? Like that's what is happening. Like you accumulating more of the asset that's going down in value and losing the asset that's going up in value. Like that is how you are buying and selling with LP. Because if you're selling, the coin is being bought off the market, so it's being removed from the liquidity pool, and then Pulse or whatever stable coin is being put in. So now you, as the liquidity provider, have given up your coins and gotten the value backing thing in exchange for that. So the value of your bag is going down from an impermanent loss perspective, but you're still, you know, getting that benefit because you're selling on the way up, or you're buying on the way down. And that's why, like, I also don't like when there's framing of impermanent loss like it's just this bad thing. It is a risk, right? And you can get wrecked with impermanent loss. It's very possible, and I know people that's happened to. But you can use the parameters or the way in which the risk is taken with impermanent loss to make it work within your portfolio from a holistic perspective. And I think that's how you intelligently do it. Or you just do it, accept the risk, and then what you're getting in return for that risk is some income. Like you're getting fees added to your position over time. Or if you're like on a V3 system, I think this is even more powerful, where the fees are claimable. So you have your position in there, but the fees that are being accrued don't go straight into LP. They're being kept on the side, and you can claim them as an actual thing of income, instead of just like the value of your tokens going up, which I think is a lot more powerful than the way like the V2 Uniswap V2 system is.
Yeah, that just adds into the pool and you can't really calculate it. Yeah, I really like V3, and I started really talking about it after the VBS yield farm, and when PulseX was about to launch, I decided to do LP for Hex and ETH, and it was, you know, concentrated on V3, and I wanted to see what was happening. I didn't have that much in there, but I was earning like $20 a day in Hex. So it was like, this is absolutely phenomenal. How come people are afraid of this? I'm getting like $20 a day in Hex with a few grand because it was a concentrated position. I'm like, this is godly. So yeah, I really hope, especially after 9mm launches and people really start seeing the benefit, because you know the Chads in the Tang Gang are going to be talking about it constantly. So I really hope people start seeing the benefits of providing LP like directly, versus me or anyone else in the 10 gang just talking about it. So I think having that V3 and being able to claim your fees is going to like one up the game a little bit more. But my whole thing with it is like, because I care about the Tangang and the HOA and all the other coins that are there, the reason why I want to LP is because, yeah, I want, like, if when I am ready to take profits at like the top of this cycle, I don't want to sell HOA. I don't want to be the person who made HOA and then I dump my coins on you. I want to be able to pull the little bit of LP I have and just have a buttload of pulse there.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy if it was one HOA in there with a buttload of pulse, and then I can just leave that one HOA in my bag and just take the pulse out. Like that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it, because you're not dumping the price, you're supporting the price on the way up, and then basically when you're ready to take profits, you just remove it and allow the gains that you got are what impermanent loss gave you. So your impermanent loss is, this is probably how I think you've said it, your impermanent gain, basically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's a gain. It's 100% a gain, because like it's like, don't look at like, if you did a stable coin and you bought Hex and you did, USDC and Hex, yeah, you're probably going to cry at yourself about the impermanent loss on that. But if you're in two volatile assets and you want to support one and you want to like use the other, that's just the right way to do it. It's the right way to do it. I want to sorry about the ambulance. I don't want to dump my HOA on anybody. I want pulse, and that's kind of like the whole reason why we're here. It's why a lot of the times when I do TA, I look at the pulse pricing. Because at the end of the day, I just want to know that, I'm winning in terms of pulse pricing, because that's the whole point. If I'm losing value in terms of pulse, then what was the point? Yeah. So as long as the value is going up against pulse, but pulse is actually filling my LP, win-win.
Yep. 100%. And this speaks to kind of my general thesis or like goal in crypto overall. And that is to like accumulate a bag that's so big that one day you can't actually exit the position. Right. So it's like you have this inflated paper value based on like the liquidity, like because if you sold your whole position, you would nuke the chart just to an unimaginable degree. You can't get out what your paper value is, but you can yield on that paper value. And the yield that you're getting from that paper value is based on that theoretical value. So like 5% of $1,000 and 5% on $1 million is a much different 5%. And a lot of the times that that value that you're extracting through LP is serviceable by the liquidity present in that token, right? So you are accumulating an asset early, allowing it to appreciate in price, and then when it does, supporting the price while getting paid to do so through LP. And then at that point, you're getting a significant amount of value out daily. I mean, just like say 10x the amount you were doing with the Hex ETH thing, where you're getting, instead of $20 a day, you're getting $200 a day. And a lot of that is from buys early on in the Hex days. Like, just say you didn't stake everything. Let's say you had half of it liquid. Well, you could have taken all of that Hex, thrown that in that LP pool, and then you're generating an income from the coins that you got at such a low price. And so now your risk level is lower because the price fluctuations are not within your entry price, right? So like if you're fluctuating 2 to 3x in volatility terms, but that's 5x above where you bought in, and that value isn't even extractable in terms of like what the market can service, do you really care that you've gone up X or X amount of X, gone up or down X amount in terms of paper value, because you knew you could never get it out anyways? But you can yield on it, and you can produce an income based on it, and you can support the ecosystem that is giving you that income while doing it in the first place. It's like that whole, like what I just laid out is kind of like my ultimate goal for like building crypto bags. Whenever I get a position, like that's like where I'm looking to do in the future to actually extract value into my real life, not just if price goes up, dump, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was gonna say something and it kind of lost me.
No, you're good. I don't know. That might not have made a lot of sense. That was kind of all over the
place. No,
but
it made sense. But that's the thing. I was like really listening to you, and then I forgot what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. Yeah.
Oh no, I remembered now. So yeah, this is for everyone in the chart. One of the chat. One of the sites I like looking at to kind of compare liquidity providing, they just changed the name of the website. The website now is called poolfish.xyz, POOL. And you can actually, see what type of money you could make just doing Hex and ETH. And you can play with different concentration ranges, or you can do full range. You can enter a dollar value, and it'll show you what you could be making at, you know, the current values of everything. But also, I think it connects to like Web3 and Uniswap directly. So if you were to like pop that into your wallet, it will make that position for you. So it's one of my favorite websites I like looking at for LPs, and it's like why I really like, after getting off of BVS and experimenting with Hex and ETH, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, this is awesome. So this is part of the reason why I'm so excited for V3 with 9mm, because like, there is money to be made. You can play around with stuff.
100%. And shout out to Poolfish as well. Noah Bragg. I had I'll show you. I had an interview with the founder, not the founder. The person who acquired the website. Noah Bragg. He's an awesome guy. Super cool.
Nice.
You know, really active in like the digital nomad entrepreneurial space, doing great work. So definitely go check out this interview with him if you want to learn a little bit more about kind of the transition and where his vision is for the future for this site. And, you know, my goal, hopefully, once 9MM goes live, we'll get Poolfish to support that DEX as well, so we can start estimating our fees on Pulse Chain, because we don't have a V3 DEX yet. So that site really isn't relevant for us quite yet. But once 9MM goes live, I'm gonna be messaging him like, hey man, hey Noah, it's here. Come on, let's
that'd be awesome. I didn't even know you had an interview with him. That's dope, because I've been playing with that site for a while now. I just coincidentally found it one day looking for, you know, LP stuff. So that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. Noah's a great guy. He has a little chat with a couple people that he talks about LP with, and I'm in there. High level conversations, really good stuff. And so, you know, I'm hoping that I can, you know, at least be a voice for Pulse Chain and 9MM to get some of this cool support for these tools that are being built by, you know, talented people like Noah. So I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, if he starts working with 9MM on that, that'll be absolutely amazing. I would love that.
Maybe I can talk him into, whenever you pull up an HOA pair, that the whole screen goes orange.
Oh yes, yes.
Lose their minds. Oh man.
But yeah, absolutely. LP is the way. LP is the way, especially at this point in the market. If you got two bullish assets, there's like, for me personally, like, everyone has their own strategy. But for me personally, I don't even like sitting on liquid. If I'm sitting on liquid, I'm waiting to get more money in so I can bond it with something else. I like almost all my cryptos in LP. I don't like holding liquid.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have more liquid than I expect, but that's then like my percentage of my portfolio than what you're describing. But I'm mostly kind of waiting, one, for V3 stuff to be more concentrated, but also I'm waiting for a little bit more price appreciation, so that like the income makes a little bit more sense. So I'm waiting before I experience that impermanent loss personally, and then I'm strategically going to start placing LP when it starts to make sense from a portfolio value perspective. But I think both strategies are legit. Like, get it, and I know other people who do it a lot like you. They're like, they get their coins and they'll pair it with Pulse and then just let it ride, which I think is smart, because you're getting that Pulse price appreciation at the same time. So
right. Yeah. Everyone has their own strategies for it, you know. But yeah, I was going to add more LP like 2 days ago with HOA, and then HOA just skyrocketed, and I was like, oh great, so now I gotta get some more cash together, because now what I was holding on was only like $1,200, and it was like $2,500. So I was like, that's great.
Yeah, dude, look at that crazy run it just had. It was like in one day too. It was just one day.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's like boom, up, you know, basically 3-4x right there. That's crazy. Broke your all-time high.
That chart is so beautiful. I love that chart.
Yeah, I know you guys are getting a lot of FUD and criticisms around here, and it just broke right out.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing the cope on the timeline, believe it or not, because it's like I'm not going to name drop. No, I'm not going to name drop the individual, but this individual was like, oh, 2 weeks and they'll have new profile pictures, right? So I was like, noted, right? So I come back 2 weeks later, because I wrote it down, and the chart was at that previous high, so it went up like 4x or something like that. So I'm like, great call, bro. But then I went back again, and we actually all have new profile pictures. I was like, yo, he was right.
He was right.
We all got both OGs.
He was right, but not for the reasons he thought he would be. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's some numbers that I like to run with any coin that I'm looking to invest in. But like the aquatic animals, I don't know. You've been talking about those with 9mm recently. But I think with HOA, like we can run some of those numbers too. Like how much? It's like 151 million total supply.
Yeah, something like that. 15, 18. I didn't memorize the words, but yeah, like basically 1.5 million to be a whale.
Yeah. So that right now, 1.5 million, 1500. That's about $5,000 to be a whale right now, which is pretty crazy. And then if you want a shark position, that's about $500 right now. So you could still feasibly, with not a crazy amount of money, you could get a position that down the line, if the price continues to appreciate as successfully as it has, you could get a very, very large percent of the total supply, even after that major impulse up.
Yeah, it's still a lot of opportunity right now. And then like I said earlier, there we go. Bullish posted. I got it up on my TV. So bullish posted the supply.
Oh, the burning.
Yeah, there's still a lot of opportunity in this ecosystem, and it doesn't even look like the momentum is slowing. It looks like the momentum is picking up. Mm-hmm. And like we were saying before, with all the NFT launches, especially Mana's right now, like Mana's collection is just absolutely phenomenal. People love the art. There's a lot of volume on it. And it's one of the token gated NFTs to get into Fully Croissants, which is just another amazing project. So it's like, you can come in there just for the price appreciation, but then there's all these other benefits as well. So it's like people aren't selling. So there's just so much opportunity in the Tangang right now. You're talking, but I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
There we go. Okay.
This is the right collection, correct?
Yeah, the Grove Girls Juice Drop. Yep. Yeah. Be careful because some of them are a little bit more adult rated.
Racy.
Yeah. Not all of them. I think it was a very small portion of the supply that are a little bit more X-rated, but like the artwork is phenomenal. It's like AI generated and stuff, so it's definitely a collection that's pleasing on the eyes.
Yep. And the floors are pretty solid. 3.5 million pulse for them right now. That's pretty significant, especially for a free drop.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's even like something like the Fairy Blossoms too. Fairy Blossoms are another one that are pleasing on the eyes. I think their floor is like 1 million.
Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm happy to see all these artists being supported and then seeing success through participation in the community, man. That makes me really happy to see. So
yeah,
congrats to you and congrats everybody in the Tangang, because that's, I think, everybody's shared success,
Yeah, I'm so happy that we were able to, like, just by will of force and intelligence and comedy, bring so much opportunity to this ecosystem, and show people outside of the ecosystem how much opportunity is actually here. Because like this is one of the points I agree with the PDI guys. Like without all these other coins popping up, you effectively would have a ghost chain in terms of volume and engagement. So it's like all these other coins are really, doing a bulk of the work on the timeline for what you can expect from Pulse Chain. And like, this is just the beginning of it. Like, we're still in the depths of a bear market. People are making money in the depths of the bear market right now because of ecosystems like this.
Yep. Imagine when natural financial energy starts to flow in for real. And probably a big reason why it will is because of all the stuff that's happening right now. Like you don't have that growth unless you have the foundations that are being built right now. So
right.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. Yeah. You won't, if people don't see a reason to participate, then they're not going to. People will start making all the meme coins on Binance again. So I'm hoping Pulse Chain, like, I'm going to agree with people on this point that, you want people to do the right thing in terms of, making the most responsible, legitimate investments, on the market. But, you don't set the market. The market is going to buy what it wants to buy. And like even 60, I think the last time I seen the anyone talk about the volume, but like 60% of the volume on ETH is meme coins. So it's like, that's the market. I'm sorry if you don't want to hear it, but if you don't want people to flood the Binance, you better let it happen on Pulse Chain.
Yep. 100%, man. We want that volume. We want that activity. We want all of that happening over here in our sandbox. not over there, because all that money just eventually kind of finds its way into Pulse and then finds its way into Hex and all of that stuff downstream. And I would rather spend my time on Pulse Chain than on Binance, to be totally honest. Like I don't want to transact on Binance or honestly, obviously not Ethereum, because it's so damn expensive to do anything over there. So I don't want to, you can't have something like this happen unless like the transactions are low enough where anybody can do $5 transactions and not have to actually worry about 20% of it being eaten up by gas fees, or all of it being eaten up by gas fees. Like, so that's a very necessary part.
That's why I went to Kronos, to learn about yield farms instead of actually going to PancakeSwap, which, all these yield farms are forks of PancakeSwap. I don't want to be on Binance. I don't like Binance. I don't trust Binance. I trust Kronos and I trust Pulse Chain. So I learned about it on Kronos because I don't want to be on Binance. And other people, there's so many scams launched on Binance, and so many people got wrecked, and so many issues with just the people behind it. Get them on Pulse Chain, man. Maybe you can teach them about leverage trading after, they come for the memes, but at least let them come for what they want. Like, get them into the door.
Yep, 100%. Dude, well, Too Spooky, I think this was an incredible hour and a half, man. Dude, I had a blast. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. I think this was I think everybody who came, obviously, thank you so much for showing up. I hope you guys enjoy the conversation as much as me and Too Spooky. Tell us where people can find you, man. Like, how, if somebody wanted to find you and follow you, where would they go?
All right, so there's the main website, hexoacoin.com. You'll find all the socials, all the NFT collections, and all that stuff on there. But if you go to my profile, you'll see the website there. The main group that we chat in, the main social, is the Telegram. Again, you'll find that link on the main website at hexoacoin.com. And my Twitter account, like, there's probably people in here that don't have me on Twitter, but it's Too Spooky. It's TOOS_POOKY. Too Spooky. That's why I'm wearing this. The website's linked there too, so you can find us. If you go on Twitter and you type in hashtag Tangang, you'll probably find it there too. Just ask for us. We'll be there.
Yeah, just tweet Tangang, where are you? And you're gonna get like 80 different comments like, hey, we're over here. Here are the links, buddy.
It's like flashing the bat signal. We'll be there.
And then I'm pretty sure I put all of the links in the description as well. So his Twitter and the hexoacoin.com, and then from there you can find all the links. I won't post any like Telegram stuff in here because go to the official places for the links, so you're not going into any scam spaces or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you're in a Tangang Telegram and there's not like 5,000 pictures and videos, you're in the wrong one, because they're not keeping up with us.
Oh, that's great. Well, Too Spooky, dude, thank you so much again for your time coming on, having a chat with me. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed, our conversations lately on Twitter Spaces and on here. So, anything I can do to help, never hesitate to reach out. And I'm happy to do whatever I can for the Tangang and for yourself as well.
Definitely, bro. And I appreciate you having me on here. I love talking to you too. I'm glad we got other people in the community that really, understand the benefits of LP. So I'm glad we have you on our side instead of the cope on the timeline.
Yeah. And I made it a personal mission to make sure that I cope on your timeline all the time. I will do that. You don't want to see it, but you're gonna see it, buddy.
Well, I guess in certain circumstances the cope is okay, because if I can push it and I say, hey, this is why he's coping, I'm like, okay, maybe more people will participate. Maybe you should have bought more Pulse OGs, probably.
Hey, I'm pretty happy with my mints, honestly. I went a little heavier than I expected. I'm like, you know what? I'm good with this. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time when it comes out, man.
Yeah, when we hit that last day and there was only like 1,000 left, I'm like, nah, I gotta get another 100. Got to. I was FOMOing.
Yeah, dude, I was FOMOing too, man. I got my number that I wanted, and I was like, one more. Is it more? One more.
Maybe this one has a crown.
Hey, man, I got one crown. That was my first mint, and I'm very proud.
There we go. Nice.
I am glad you got at least one of the hats, man. To mint 300, not get a hat would have been oof.
I would have been hurt so bad, because there's only, like, if people don't know, the black and white cap, it's just like the trait is just called cap. There's only 5 of them, and I managed to get one of them. And that's why it's my profile picture. If you look on my Twitter or the banner. I really liked the banner that you made for the YouTube stream, by the way. I thought that was beautiful.
The orange up here.
Yeah.
Oh, or the thumbnail.
The thumbnail, yeah, the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
yeah,
man.
it's very pretty.
That. Yeah, I've been trying to up my thumbnail game overall because I don't have much of an eye for design or anything like that. It's not one of my strong suits, but I'm getting a little bit better over time, and I'm happy with what I'm seeing. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that feedback, man. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you having me on here. I really love the stream. I love talking to you. I'm glad we can communicate and like do the best we can to help educate other people. Really love the Tang Gang, love the energy. They actually motivate me to do more of what I already do, which is just make memes and talk about the stuff I like talking about. So really positive experience. You can join the Telegram for anyone who's not already in there and just kind of flow with the vibes. You don't have to buy HOA to have fun with
Yep.
us. But if you do like making memes or you want to learn how to make memes, lots of creative people in there. Maybe you even make an NFT collection. A lot of people join the Tang Gang not thinking they were going to make an NFT collection, and now they have NFT collections, making money.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's a lot of benefits from just participating in all the fun that is happening in the Tang Gang. So I really appreciate all the positive energy coming in, and that I'm seeing, or coming from the Tang Gang, and that I'm seeing from outside of it too. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I might make I might make an NFT collection just to give it away to the Tang Gang just for fun.
We're getting some sloth NFTs. It's over.
We're getting some sloth NFTs. We are all the sloth address. That's going to be a real thing, baby.
There we go.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. You know where to find me. You're on my channel, so go ahead and subscribe, hit the like, comment. All that stuff helps out. cryptosloth.info. cryptosloth.info if you want more in-depth information with articles and stuff. But yeah, that is it for me. That is it for Too Spooky, and we will see you guys later. Peace out.